Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. In this episode, I want to go ahead and start off by reloading some high potions, and in just a second, I want to talk about auto-reloading a little bit more. But also, there are some, of course, new icons that I always feel the need to get rid of, but also upper slash. That's probably one of my favorite techniques in the game, as I'm equipping Magic Lock on as well, and Donald Fire, but upper slash, basically, what it does is in the middle of a combo, you can press square, and you'll hit an enemy up into the air to continue an air combo. But just real quick, auto-reloading only works after a fight, so it's not really that big of a deal to just go into the menu and re-equip some potions. But here we're going to be getting some cutscenes. Allow our guests to pass. After you! So apparently Cogsworth has power over these statues, but here we're going to be getting the cutscene that I thought we were going to be getting right there. Alright, how do we get out of here? I'm afraid we won't be marching out that easily. You see, the door leading to the other side is concealed by a sort of contraption. What kind of contraption? Observe. The lantern came down! Indeed it did. If we could but light all the lanterns in this passage, the secret door would open. But as you can see, the lanterns are already burning with an enchanted flame. You must put out this enchanted flame before I am able to light the lanterns properly. Can't you just throw some water on them? I'm afraid that's not enough, but if you use the power of light... How about I try using the Keyblade? Bravo! And I'll get into a little bit more about the specifics of this game in a second. Only 3 lanterns left. If we work together, we'll have that door open in no time. Piece of cake. Again, it is not quite so simple, Mo-to-me. Certainly you cannot expect Cogsworth to hang from that handle forever. What? Why, Lumiere, you... If he gets tired and falls off, all the unlit lanterns will rise to the ceiling again. Before you can continue, you must see to Cogsworth. Once he gets his strength back, he'll grasp the lever again for you. Let's give it a shot. Now we get to do one of the weirder sort of minigames, I guess, and it's not really that weird now that I think about it, but you do need to get rid of the boxes in the path of the teapot. If the teapot has a name, I can't actually remember what it is, but over here you can see that there is a puzzle piece that we're not going to be able to get to right now because of the timer in the top left, but if you do a fire combo, that last attack in the combo will take out the majority of the boxes around you, and I've noticed that if you try and just take out one box, usually the teapot won't go through the hole. You usually have to take out more than one box, so you might as well go ahead and take out as many as possible. But here we're going to be getting to actually our last one, so if you go fast enough, you don't actually have to go back and help Cogsworth, which is good because that takes a lot of time. Are we all set? The secret door should open now. But I don't see any secret door. No need to worry. Just push that block over there, the one that's sticking out. Got it. Now, I must check on the castle. I fear my absence has been too long. I'd best be off too, dears. Watch out for Heartless. The Master's room is at the very end of the West Wing. I shall go on ahead and wait for you. So in just a second, we're going to be going to the West Wing to meet up with Cogsworth and talk to Beast, but first, there are some puzzle pieces and treasure chests in this area that we need to get. But one thing that's kind of funny about that is that apparently Lumiere, the, candelabra or whatever, candelabra, however you pronounce it, is like a leader of the castle or whatever. I actually have not seen Beauty and the Beast in a really long time. I don't know what his role was in that movie, but it sounds like he has a lot to do with the running of the castle, because he said, now that I've been gone a while, I'm worried that things are going to be, have gone south, essentially. But now we're back in the West Hall on the other side of those statues that I talked about in the last episode. And speaking of statues, this treasure chest right here, on either side, there is a statue. One of them will jump out and attack you. And one thing I actually don't know, I'm not sure, basically in the last episode, when we were fighting the Thresholder, there was two different types of statues. It was like a gargoyle soldier and a gargoyle something else. I'm not sure if each of those statues were represented right there or not, but another thing, speaking of 358, like I talked about in the last episode, up there in that corner that I just jumped out of where there was that treasure chest, up over here, basically in 358, there's a way to get to the final level in Kingdom Hearts 2 right there, which I always thought was kind of cool. That basically, I think I talked about this in the last episode, but the way everything matches up like that, and even though it's kind of retconned, I still think it was kind of cool. But here we have the Bat Cry reaction command, one of my favorite ones, mainly because you do it once, and it takes out pretty much every hook bat in the entire area. But now that we've taken them out, might as well go ahead and go in this door.
It's time you dealt with Belle. She's scheming to take everything you have. This castle, your precious Rose, and then your life. Trust no one. Feed your anger. Only anger will keep you strong.
I've had enough of strength. There's only one thing I want.
What? To love and be loved in return. Who could ever love a beast? See? She has accomplices.
Hey, Prince.
Oh dear, Master!
Now this boss fight is actually fairly difficult, I think, and you have to use the wake up technique to be able to win here. And I can't believe every time my aerial recovery there, it just kept putting me back in front of Beast. But if you use Cogsworth, you can use the wake up technique, and the darkness surrounding Beast will go away and kind of stun him for a little bit, and I guess lower his defense a little bit as well. I'm using the upper slash technique as well to get him up in the air and try and get a couple more attacks. That's not really that advised, because eventually the darkness will come back, and at that point he'll just sink back down and you won't do any more attacks in that one combo. But here we've actually taken him out, and the only thing we have to do now is charge up, another reaction command, I guess. I've never actually failed this. I don't know if you even can, but there we go, guys. That's actually, I did it in one try, so I guess it wasn't that hard, but we got an extra armor slot and more cutscenes.
Cogsworth, what happened?
Well, Master, you see, that is, how shall I say, actually,
Well, you put everybody down there in that dungeon.
I did what?
you did?
Who was that guy you were talking to? The one in black?
Zaldin. That's his name. He came from the darkness. He used my anger to control me. He took all my sorrow, my sadness, my pain, and turned it all into rage. There was nothing I could do. I could no longer see the truth.
Well, I'll be. That must be why you threw all of your friends down there into the dungeon. You wanted to make sure that you didn't hurt them, right?
Was that it? Was it to protect them?
Sure, we know you're good inside.
He's right, Master. We've all seen how kind you can be. After all, Belle can see the goodness in your heart, but I'm afraid you've yet to...
Belle. Oh, I've mistreated her. I've mistreated her and been so selfish.
She didn't say anything about that.
She'd never tell anyone of my cruelty. She's too good.
You see, I'm afraid he judges himself far too harshly.
Why don't you just go talk to her?
But...
No excuses. Come on, we'll go with you.
Now luckily we actually get Beast in our party, which is good because we saw how strong he could be in that fight just a few minutes ago. But for some reason, I always have the need, like I said, to get rid of these new notifications, except for the ones in the journal. But speaking of new, he's got a lot of new techniques, and speaking of new techniques, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the item boost technique on Goofy and equip Defender, because I think that'll benefit us more in the long run. But in this room, I guess it's just plain old Beast's room, we're going to go ahead and go over here into this corner and open up this treasure chest, which I believe has a blazing shard in it. And over here in this corner, we're going to be getting what is the final puzzle piece in the Awakening puzzle. But now that we have that, now I can show you what it looks like to complete a puzzle. But first, I want to show you that we have all of the treasure chests in Beast Castle, and I don't know why there's a new notification on the Twilight Town puzzles. But over here, if we press R1, we can get to puzzles, assemble, and Awakening. I don't know what 20298 is. I guess it was like an untranslated piece of code from the English patch. I don't exactly know. I'm not entirely sure. I forgot my own catchphrase. But this is actually one of the more, I guess, easy puzzles in the game, which makes sense because it is the first one. But if we complete it, we get an AP boost, and they actually thank us for playing, which I thought was a good touch there. But I might as well, since we got an AP boost, I have apparently 4 stocked up. Might as well go ahead and use all those on Sora. I almost said Goofy for some reason. Never waste, by the way. I said this all the time in the original Kingdom Hearts Let's Play. I, anyway, don't think it's a good idea to waste anything like an AP boost, a power-up, defense up, anything like that. I would never waste anything like that on Goofy, Donald, or especially any of the characters. I don't even know if you can use them on the characters from each world like Beast, but that would be even more of a waste. Basically, long story short, just use all of them on Sora because you're going to be able to control him all the time, and you can't control Donald and Goofy ever. But over here in this corridor, there's going to be some soldiers spawned at, pretty much on cue, actually. What I want to do is show you the new limit technique here from Beast, which is called Twin Howl. It's a pretty cool limit. I wouldn't say it's as cool as Mulan's limit, because, Mulan's limit had explosions and rockets and all kinds of stuff. The finishing blow, though, the last howl, as you can see right now, is actually pretty cool. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like there's any enemies around me. It didn't actually do anything. But that's really all there is to do here. Now we can go into the entrance hall, and in the entrance hall, down here in this little middle area, there's going to be some new Heartless, which I believe are called the Lancers. They're actually fairly strong. Their Lance, I guess is what it's called, does like 1/4 of your health, as you can see right there. But I'm not going to worry about fighting them too much right now. Basically, what we need to do is run down all the way to the end of the East Hall to get back to Belle's room and maybe talk to her a little bit. But if I am not careful, apparently the Lancers have a really long reach, and it almost killed me there, but we finally made it. Might as well go ahead and heal up. And now we can go ahead and talk to the wardrobe here and maybe learn where Belle is, because she's not here. Master! Everybody's safe now! Wonderful, thank you! Where's Belle? Why, she left in a hurry. Something about going after this man in black. What? Why doesn't she do as she's told? Temper, temper. Her spirit is what makes Belle so special. We better go find her. And find her we shall, but to find her we need to go back all the way into the middle area once again. So this area is a whole bunch of running back and forth, but for some reason in this area it doesn't feel too much like busy work, but we're going to be getting some cutscenes here.
I'm warning you, you'll be sorry.
Belle, where are you?
Beast, help! I'm in the ballroom!
I don't remember if we've been in the ballroom yet, but we're actually going to be able to go in there now. And I'm going to go ahead and put Goofy in for Beast, because we're going to need him in this fight coming up.
Belle!
I'm all right!
Actually, believe it or not, one of my favorite Heartless in the entire game, just mainly because of how different it looks, but if you stand in between the panes of glass right there, you'll be able to dodge the shockwave attack that comes out of it, but then he'll go up into the chandelier and drop it down. Usually I get hit by that, but I got lucky there, and if I don't get hit by it, I almost always get hit by the lasers that go around. Eventually, you'll be able to do enough damage to the chandelier to where he'll be able to be released from it, or you'll be able to release him from it and do damage. The key to this boss fight, basically, is he'll go into a lot of different props or whatever around the scenery, or pieces of scenery around the background and stuff like that, and you've got to drive him out or release him from that to be able to attack him. It kind of reminds me of the Possessor or whatever from the last episode, the Thresholder, and it kind of makes sense because this is actually another one of those Pureblood Heartless that I was talking about in the last episode. But as you can see, he has kind of low defense and low HP. The only problem is that half the time he's unable to be attacked, which makes him, go down fairly slowly. And I love how Donald and Goofy are the ones that get hit there and not me, which is how I would prefer it, actually. And there we go. I almost died right there. And if Donald had not healed me, I probably would have died. If you do happen to die, though, usually the thing that I talked about in the Thresholder / Possessor fight will happen here. I hate to, spoil it, what happens if you die, usually in a boss fight. It doesn't happen every time, because it is a kind of a main character that comes to your aid, I guess, basically to give you an extra life. Like I said, I don't want to spoil who it is exactly, just in case you don't know, but just keep in mind that sometimes if you die, you'll have an extra chance. But here we're going to be able to release him for hopefully the final time, and if I can find him, hopefully another couple of attacks will be able to take him out. Well, he has a little bit more HP than I thought, but hopefully a combo like so will be able to take him out. But you might have noticed that not a bonus level did not pop up there in the top, so maybe he's not quite done. Now here we find ourselves in a fight with what is called the Dark Thorn, which kind of reminds me of that boss fight with Clayton in the first game because it's invisible. But hopefully I can get, luckily I got the Step Vault reaction command there, because if you don't get this, you lose a lot of health, but if you do get it, you get to do a lot of health or damage to him. Now, I'm going to turn into Valor Form right now, mainly because I want to do as much damage as possible, and this is exactly why I put Goofy into the fight, or into my party, before this fight started, because I didn't want to have to fumble around with trying to put him in while I'm trying to manage potions and talk and all kinds of stuff. Luckily though, if this happens, that's actually really good, because a reaction command will come up called Slingshot, as you can see, and do a lot of damage. He'll probably do that more than once, because he usually does it a lot. The only thing you've really got to worry about is sometimes he'll do this jumping attack that's really hard to dodge, and I think he might be doing it right now. Yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about just a second ago. I don't know how you're supposed to dodge this, unless you can just use a guard command, but here's doing the slingshot thing again, so I guess it doesn't really matter. That one thing where he jumps and rolls, it's really hard to dodge, like I said, so if that happens, don't be afraid if you die, but then again, if you do die, it doesn't really matter because you're probably going to get extra life in this fight anyway. But since he has such low health, I might as well go ahead and try and use Blizzard, even though it won't work if he's on the chandelier, but now that he's off the chandelier, hopefully a Blizzard or two will take him out. And I had a feeling that the final blow in this fight was going to be the combo finisher for that Blizzard for some reason, but there we get the retaliating slash, and once again, more cutscenes.
We did it!
So you think.
Zaldin! What does he want here?
He must be with Organization 13. Ever heard of the Nobodies? When a strong-hearted person turns into a Heartless, a Nobody is created too. See, the organization, they've got control of all the Nobodies.
That's right. They were gonna make you into a Heartless. That way they could get that nobody of yours and have control over it.
You're all right.
Belle! Belle, I'm sorry. I wasn't myself. I hope I haven't done anything to hurt you. Forgive me.
I know you weren't yourself. You don't have to apologize. But I had hoped that you might have changed a little bit. I wish you could start trusting me.
Oh, I am afraid time is running short.
What do you mean?
Remember the rose?
From the beast's room?
Precisely. You see, if the Master can learn to love and earn love in return before the last petal falls...
The spell will be broken.
Really? You think he's gonna make it?
We think so.
Yup, I think you're right.
I hope you're right.
What happened?
The gate is open.
Do you have to go?
Yeah.
Now no more arguing, okay?
We'll see to it.
Take care, dears.
You are welcome here any time.
If you hear anything about Riku, or the King, the Heartless, the organization, anything at all, let us know. Okay, gotta go.
Bye.
Hey, wait a minute. Is the ship moving all on its own?
Yup, looks like we're headed toward Hollow Bastion.
I wonder what's up. Come on!
Well now, took your time, did you?
Oh, was it you who summoned us, Merlin?
Yes, but it seems I used too much power in doing so, and those infernal Heartless. Oh.
So what's up?
Well, I happened to stumble across this in the Zero District.
Pooh's storybook!
That's right! I know you're a good friend of Winnie the Pooh, Sora. That's why I summoned you. And when I did, I was attacked by the Heartless. Of course, I fought back with some rather powerful magic, but then I began to fear the book would be damaged, so oh, now, just a moment. Leon and the others need to hear this, too. I'd better go find them. Be back in a jiffy.
I wonder how Pooh's doing.
Want to find out?
Yeah.
So maybe a little bit unexpectedly, we find ourselves back in Merlin's house, even though we started the episode off in Beast's castle. In the next episode, we're going to be going into the Book of Winnie the Pooh once again and see if there's anything new going on there. I want to thank you guys for watching this episode of Let's Play Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, and I hope to see you guys back for the next episode.